Hi everyone, so welcome to week 7 and we are going to be discussing workplace conflict. So as always, I'm going to be starting off with a discussion of the weekly readings, and I wanted to talk about the individual and organizational factors promoting successful responses to workplace conflict by Orr, LeBlanc, and Leiter. So they found that in terms of individual factors, quote unquote, an appropriate balance of self-other focus, emotion regulation, and fit of the person to the conflict situation show promise for conflict success and appear to be trainable. And organizational interventions, including individual training, group work, conflict training, and meditation, also demonstrates efficacy in building conflict skills. So I've seen that hand in hand, and that's why I chose this particular reading. So I'm going to be discussing it more and tying it to the next two questions that we had to answer. But I've seen it work in action in my workplace. And with that being said, we're going to go to question number 2, which is what have you done where there has been conflict in a work group situation? So with this situation that we're dealing with now with the virus, it has made the workplace just a little bit more chaotic than usual, just because there's people worrying about themselves and their families and making sure we're not contracting the disease, while making sure we also promote and establish exceptional patient care. So there's constantly a conflict of how many patients are being seen, predominantly how the scheduling is going to go for the rest of the day and even for the rest of the week. So one of the biggest conflicts that we face, I believe yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, was that there was just a very heavy schedule when we're supposed to be limiting the amount of people that are in the waiting room. We're only allowed to have around 10 people, not even around, maximum 10 people in any given space. So how can we accommodate that and a very busy schedule that has like over 70 patients listed? So that was just one of the biggest conflicts we had to face this week. And one thing I'm really proud of with my team is that, or at least something I did, and they did too, was we made sure that we established who was doing what exactly. And that was my coworker checking in, I was checking out, and when one of us wasn't doing our own positions, we did the other person's. And when we had the heaviest flow of patients, it was just a very heavy communication of, okay, who did you check in? You got this person, okay, I'll get this person, this is done, put this person there, get them ready for the ultrasound tags, etc. So in terms of the second question, it was just constantly communicating and making sure that we find a plan that's beneficial for everybody in a way that it reduces stress and increases productivity, while also complying with all the policies that we need to comply with. And number 3 is, do you ultimately believe that conflict is beneficial within limits? I absolutely do. Unfortunately, I feel like while you don't want to deal with conflict, at the same time, conflict is one of the things that can help improve productivity over time. So I feel like without it, especially in the workplace, it's like without that conflict, you won't know or won't learn exactly how things can get done or find new solutions, especially also understanding how, let's say, a colleague looks at a certain situation versus you. So conflict helps a person broaden their mindset if it's done right, if you look at conflict as a positive. And on top of that, like I stated, it can definitely increase a lot of productivity, maybe even the relationship between two people, or even though it can end up hurting it. But the point is, if you look at conflict the right way, it can definitely just boost a lot of things in an organization. So I'm just going to wrap it up here, and I hope everyone continues to stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.